Hello and welcome to another session of Hearts of Yokai. It's placeholder name. This is what we're calling this PbtA hack, which is inspired by various Taken to Another World and Come Back games, but most especially I would say Changing the Lost. And our group is in Mobile, Alabama, in very early 1999. And we're going to start out. Last time they had a meeting with certain members of the courts, particularly the hands that served the dukes from the courts. And they were presented with an offer to allow them to get a couple months free from labor, to get a little bit of expense money, if they would look into something. No deadline was given. You have the sense that there's not big pressure on you to get immediate results. So that means that you should draw out those expenses as long as you can. You gotta make the most of it. But to make it a little bit easier, I did, under the Court of Lanterns, not for any reason other than it had some space. There, I put a block of the 4 people who were mentioned as being part of this crew that vanished about a year and a half ago during Hurricane Danny. And so those names are there. I should check in with everyone and see, has anyone hit that advancement level yet? Everyone just shy? Okay. But will likely, especially if we get some bad rolls tonight, or some inner turmoil, will get you up to that level. Uh, Lily, are you good with your entanglements?
Let's see here. My entanglements are Semolina Pilchard, who I rejected at one point, and now they're giving me and Aldo a hard time. I don't know why they brought Aldo into the circle of people to be punished, but I think they're just an opportunist. That's my theory. And then romantic entanglement is that I promised Morrow that I would aid them in getting with Nameless, but doing so, I've fallen in love with him because he's so sweet.
Okay. And you're good with both of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're full of pain and trouble.
Okay. Marrow, are you good with your entanglements?
I'm pretty solid with mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I like mine.
Okay. Aldo, how about you?
Yeah.
Okay. And let me check in with Mr. Suit.
Yeah, I like where mine are going so far.
Okay. Let's see. Some notes on wishes. Sherry didn't have any wish except a chance to speak to their mentor. I think was on there. Talking to Songbird Rex, getting Wisdom Whales on screen, having some mean yokai. Like to see NPCs with entanglements and rivalries on screen. So we'll work on getting some of those things out. But let's start out with the chance for each of you to call a scene, either to interact with your entanglements or to explore an reaction with an NPC, or to use a move or anything like that here to kind of start things out before we kind of bring the group together to talk about how you want to organize your day and your activities. So, Lily, I believe your name is Lily, right?
Or Lydia. Yes, let me
Is
get
it?
that all typed in there. It
Okay.
is. I apologize.
That is okay.
I am the worst of all players. Also, my caps lock is like insidious in my life lately.
I mean, all caps name tag also seems like a Lily sort of thing.
Yeah.
It does, but
with
with sparkles.
yes. Little spark. See, here's the thing is this is an era. I mean, we're in 1999. We don't have emojis as like a common, understood, consistent thing.
Oh, that's true. You got to use just
keyboard.
like keyboard
Yeah.
symbols and form a picture from them and
Yeah.
hope that they, hope that the person's email shows them in the same line without
Yeah.
breaking lines.
I think those are called emoticons or
Yes,
something.
yes. And now let me also give before we to kind of
I have a 10-line emoticon
Yeah.
that I can type very quickly. There.
To lead off for your scene, let me do an incredibly 90s thing, Lydia. Lydia, there's a call up from the property manager.
Yes.
There's a phone call for you. Come down, there's a phone call for you.
She will come running down.
Okay.
And she's clearly was like in the state of half dressed and has just thrown a robe over because there's just so many more things she had to work on. So she's like half makeup. She's got her trousers on, but she hadn't chosen what she was going to wear for her top yet.
Some of the apartments have their own phones, but a lot of people just use the house phone. It's in a breezeway that cuts through the place, big concrete hallway. There's just that unit on the wall. It has a 40-foot cord, so you can wander up and down and still attach the handset to the thing. The handset, like it used to be a white phone, but with the grime and everything, you know how those phone cords would get like turn from white to kind of gray black.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. Lydia, who's calling you?
You have no idea. I'm completely like, she's like, hello. And let's see, whose voice does she hear? Ooh, I like the idea that strangely enough, it's a call from Nameless.
Okay. So Nameless has called you. Make it again here.
And she goes, oh, hello.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Lydia?
Oh, I'm fine. Did you want to talk tomorrow?
No. So you're the person that I know that's in Court of Sons.
Yes, I am.
So Doe's returning day is coming up next week, and I want to do like a little surprise party for her. And I know that you people from Sons, like specialize in that. So I was wondering if maybe I could get you to like help set something up, like a party planner. I've got a $50 gift certificate that I won for the Chalet Party Shop that has like the papers and balloons and streamers and things.
Oh, we could do something fabulous. Is there a particular place that you would like to have? A favorite restaurant that you two like to have? A favorite place that you like to go?
No, we don't really go out to restaurants.
So maybe we should cater something. We think about that.
Yeah. Would you think about that? Let me give you my phone number here and my address. So like if you have some ideas, maybe you can call me. I'm usually home in the evenings
Okay.
on odd numbered days.
Okay. All right. That seems like a fine pattern. days and evenings. Okay, so that means that I will call you perhaps tomorrow to give you the first update, okay?
That would be great. That'd be great.
All right. Okay, $50. I will.
Oh, and I'll give you the gift certificate, and then I can pay you a little bit more money. I have a little bit of money.
Okay. All right. About how much would you like this to cost?
How much should a party cost?
You give me a budget, and I will give you a sense of reality tomorrow.
Okay. You hear the sound like he's clearly pulling out a wallet
Mhm.
and maybe counting the money. Like besides the gift certificate, like 190.
Oh, well, you definitely get a nice cake, and we can get probably some nice things like nice things to drink and stuff. Do you want this to be alcoholic?
It doesn't matter either way. I mean, not real like
Maybe wine or something.
yeah, maybe not nothing from the undertow because that's too expensive, but something that tastes good.
All right.
Like that like maybe Boone's Hill like wine.
Oh, the sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it. Well, and we could just go with the wine coolers and stuff too.
Oh yeah. Because they're usually on sale at the package store.
Yeah, exactly. I will look into that.
Okay. Zima. Oh God.
All right.
Even he recoils at that thought.
Did not say Zima.
So I just wanted to put that little 90s bit in there and give you something. What scene would you like to call, Lydia? Since we've seen how anchored people are to a phone that is a singular thing.
I know. And it's the thing is that I'm like done with this call and I go to hang up. I feel really sad because I don't have anyone that I need to call yet. But I do go, oh, I have to call him tomorrow evening. So I will write out a little note and put it on the corkboard that's right there that goes, need to use phone tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. Thank you. And I put the date.
Okay.
And then, and then I put like hearts and sparkle signs on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Very
So they
carefully.
know that I mean it with love. And then, oh, this is very exciting. And odd days are the only times. Oh, so. Okay. And I think that essentially what it is that she sort of wanders back upstairs, she gets dressed, and I think that what she does is she probably goes to see her mentor
Okay.
because now she's going to do party planning, and this is very exciting. Needs to, essentially need to know what headspace I need to be in.
So your mentor has a tiny little cigarette box house in a neighborhood. It's one of those places where you've been in a kind of a nice neighborhood and then you walk a block and you're in like a weirdly, rough driveway and cars up on the lawns, kind of weird area. And you go another block over and you're back in kind of a nice area. You don't know if it's weird zoning or like this is where the servants used to live or what. It's just strange. But this way lives on a little corner spot. It has the most immaculate lawn there that they
She's the perfect home owner, isn't she?
takes care of that with absolute care and skill. And basically when you go in, it is hot inside. You know that they have air conditioning, but for some reason they keep it old people hot in here. the kind of a warm. It's a place where pretty much once you go in the front room, you can see all the rooms of the house from just this, like it's maybe 4 rooms.
Okay.
And she'll direct you over to the couch to sit down, you know, where you move aside the Afghan and sit on the plastic couch cover that kind of crackles under you, and immediately you feel yourself sweat and stick to it. You know, you're gonna have to peel yourself up out of there.
I'm glad I wore trousers.
Yes, they sit directly across, cross-legged, Buddhist style, on their lazy boy recliner, and they will say, "Namaste."
And hello to you too.
What is it that this way, can do for you today?
She kind of goes, I have taken on the role of party planner for a friend of a friend who I'd very much like to be beholden to. But not in a, well, anyway, just a little beholden. But anyway, I would like to make sure that I am in the proper mindset for working with this. I have a relatively generous budget of $50 for party decorations and things, and $190 for libations. But I don't know where to start.
Well, and they'll begin to like walk you through the, you know, what kind of date you thinking, what kind of space, you know, they will give you suggestions on that. As they always do, they get into that mode of party planning, and they will kind of draw on the collective subconscious for expertise that they will bring to bear for you.
Ooh, nice. So let's see, what would have been the thing back then? Yeah,
Probably can't rent a club.
right.
You could find a restaurant that maybe has some space and like has like a side room that you could use that's reasonably cheap. You know, particularly, you know, like a local Chinese restaurant that has a banquet room.
Ooh, everyone likes Chinese food.
Yeah.
That would be in a banquet. Who doesn't love a
Well,
buffet?
no, a banquet room.
Banquet room, I
Banquet
know.
room.
But if the place has a buffet,
Well, certainly there is that. You know that the brutes and the wildings love a buffet.
yes. Does that may get us into trouble? Oh no, I actually we have that conversation about should try a buffet or is that too dangerous?
Just want to make sure that it's the buffet that those of us have not been banned from yet.
Gonna really narrow down the choices.
Yes, I know that your court has a list of those, so you want to cross-check those.
I will do that. Thank you. Excellent. There is a role that goes with that.
So the Dark Mentor is basically you can flash back to that.
Okay. Not doing anything.
And there are some things that they can do this. There are some choices. Why don't you make a roll for me?
Okay. So this is, I think this is definitely is a joy thing. I was doing this for my court. Now all I have to do is remember where the roller is. Here we go. Okay. So 2d6 and I'm adding 2.
Okay,
So it's a 9.
that is a 9. So if we look at that move, we can see that on a 7 to 9, they help you out, but they do also like mention that you had some other things you were working on. If you turned aside from those, given up on that, this seems perhaps a little cavalier.
It doesn't so much an absolute change of purpose, so much as a on the side ability I would like to work on, you know, to be helpful to my friends.
Okay. So you have a choice. You can choose one from that list above,
Mhm.
or you can choose 2 if you take a level of bad repute.
I will take 1.
Okay.
Because I like right now it's too early for bad repute. I have to do something to get this. So I don't need to clear our mood. Let's see here. Oh, how about a true ally, someone who knows about parties and would be happy to help.
Okay. Which
Okay.
NPC do you want to gain a string on?
Oh, that's very interesting. Let's see. Oh, I think it has to be Lean and Hungry Mike.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll take a string. And it actually, yeah.
They will
So
say
everyone's like very court of lanterns today.
Okay.
Just kind of the theme almost.
So
Okay.
Lean and Hungry Mike's a useful person to talk to. They know how to get places to agree to let you in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
If you invite them, then they'll be glad to help you out. They're often overlooked.
Really?
Yes.
And I can't think that I have met them yet. Like I've seen them, but I haven't actually spoken to them. So this is
You actually have several times. The problem is that they are fading.
oh,
You've actually
Oh.
had a number of conversations with them, she'll say. The memory of them tends to fade away even as their self is fading.
I don't like that about myself. How do you remember them? Oh,
I am the way.
you truly are amazing.
Yes, I am.
All right, I will think on
I am
this.
all things to all people, but especially myself.
Never thought of that particular scope for all things, but I like it. I have so many things to do, but thank you for your assistance. As always, you were particularly helpful.
Yes, I was.
I will brush off.
Okay.
I have written Lean and Hungry Mike on my hand, hoping that it will help me remember.
Okay. Marrow, let's have you call a scene with NPC, with a PC to carry out a move. What would you like to do?
Righty. I think that one of the things I'd like to do, or what I'd like to do, is I had pulled out that jar of the nails. I think I'm going to go to the antique store that I sell these off. But I'm also wanting to go there because I had noticed something when I was there before.
Okay.
There's a tradition of kind of wrought iron work, kind of like the chair's got behind her there in the picture. And I had seen just really a stab off of a piece of this, but it was beautifully well done. And I'm wanting to go and see how much they're willing to get rid of it for if I could trade with them to try and get that.
Oh yeah, I think that we established that these things have they're striking and fairly well preserved. I think the older woman who's there will, open up the jar and kind of take out a piece of butcher block paper, put it down and kind of pour the nails out onto that and kind of go through and look at them. And she'll say, these are very nice. These are fairly well preserved.
I imagine somebody just buried them and forgot them. I happened to find them by the riverside.
And she'll say they look good, like they'll pass inspection for antiquers.
Um, you, I've been looking at that. I don't suppose you'd be willing to trade.
Let's have you make a roll for me here.
Okay. Boo, 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 boo. What would fit with this? I guess if we're saying calm is humanity, and
Yeah.
I'm in a pretty calmy place, I think that probably works.
Okay.
I got a 10.
A 10. They are absolutely willing to hand that off to you. And they'll say, they'll gesture to the nails. They'll say, you're in here all the time, and this stuff is worth more than that is. So if there's something else you want to grab, I know you were looking at the record stack before. If you want to go through there and pull out some albums.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I will pick up I think that I get like 20 sad bluesy music probably is what I end up with there. Since I imagine that there's not too much new wave in her collection.
Oh, I imagine that this collection is pretty much made up 98% of people who joined those record clubs and got things and then put them, sold them off and stuff. Because keep in mind here, we're in like 1999. People don't give a shit about records anymore. They
That's
just give them
true.
away. They sell them off. They dump them off. No one has any consideration that vinyl is going to be anything, anytime, ever.
Well, then I pick up a little Susie and the Banshees and an Indigo Girls and definitely I like Crowded House, so I'll get a
Oh
Crowded
yeah. You can get that first album. You can get Wooden Face. There's the whole thing. Yeah, and you can get all of those. Some of them are in good shape. The played once, and then stuff. Some of them have the look of somebody's record collection that got stolen and then pawned, kind of thing. So there's
Gotcha.
a real mix of things.
And
Yeah,
I imagine at home I've got one of those like case ones, record players that kids get.
Yep.
Probably better for 45s, but it'll manage to do a big record.
Yeah. I imagine there's lots of the old also the records that you used to get that were sort of there'd be like a couple of albums, but they're in a box and you have to open the box up. So yeah, you can do that. And you'll feel that feeling that you get when you've rescued something from the undertow and you've passed it on and it goes kind of into the ecosystem there.
And as I head home, I'm not moving on to it, but my intent with this metal piece, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I've always heard that the takers and things from the other side don't particularly like iron. And so my intent is to kind of have this as both walking stick and a weapon if I beat it. That's the intent.
That seems reasonable. Certainly you will look a little odd carrying it around, especially because you have to strap it sort of lance-wise to the side of your bike when you go and drive there. All right. Does that seem like is that good for you? Okay. Aldo, what is it that you would like to do? Who would you like to talk to?
I had an idea and then it left. I, did we ever establish what it is that I am protecting Songbird Rex from?
No, I don't think so. Let's have that conversation between you and Marrow.
Okay.
So this is Marrow. There's something about Songbird Rex. You were worried about them for some reason, and you asked Aldo to kind of keep an eye on them.
Yeah, and they are in Court of Mirrors, which is fear. And I would have looked for Aldo to be the one to do it. I think that, or at least something coming across here. Work with me, Ethan. We'll come to this together.
Sure.
Thinking maybe that they have talked about someone. It feels like they're being watched. Is that an interesting idea? Or they've gotten where they're wandering and I'm concerned in the place they're wandering? Which one would you think's more interesting?
I like the idea that they're being watched because that, I mean, that has potential to complicate pretty much anything because it could be pretty much anything watching them.
So they've come to me and said various times that they feel they don't know who, but it feels like eyes are on them. And it's enough that it's happened enough, I've gotten concerned. And I came to you and sort of was like, I've been trying to keep an eye on her, but if you could too, I wouldn't want anything to happen to her, and you never know. Maybe it's just paranoia. I mean, you know how mirrors can be, but I would hate to ignore it and it not be paranoid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, I know Songbird Rex. I don't know if we're like friends or just, or if we only know each other through Marrow. But yeah, absolutely. You never know. I mean, all the things going on, somebody has probably there probably is something watching her.
Well,
Who
I
knows if
hope
it's
not, but
dangerous or anything, but
So Aldo is today what we want to see is you kind of like trying to track them
yeah,
down and
I think I think I'm like looking for Songbird Rex, trying to kind of stay like, yeah, trying to stay out of her sight, but like I am watching for anything watching her.
yeah. Let's have you roll study.
Cool. Mhm. I think fear probably makes the most sense here.
Okay.
10.
Out of 10. So you get to hold. You can ask questions, or you can reveal details.
Okay. I guess here's a situation replace question. Where do I find her? Like what kinds of places does she hang out?
So I think you find them at a parking lot of a thrift store. And they have a little truck they've got there. They're kind of parked there. And they seem to be doing some business as you kind of watch them. You know, a little bit ways on during the day, you'll see a person pull up with a van and they kind of come over, chat with Songbird, and then the two of them go over to their van, and Songbird kind of seems to go through the back of the van and put some stuff in a backpack, and then you'll see Songbird clearly does something. You have enough sense of how the gifts of the taken operate, and they do something, and you'll see that person kind of gets a little spacey, and kind of then goes back into their van and drives off. And then Songbird goes back to the truck, and there's one of those little like box cabs in the back of the truck. They take a little key and open that up and put the stuff in that.
Okay. Huh.
Give another hold.
Okay. I will reveal a detail.
Okay.
Something in the bag was moving.
Yeah. Absolutely. Something was definitely moving in there. And they will, you know, they clearly, when they put this thing in the back of this, there's a bit, maybe a moment of like a little bit of a wrestling thing that happens there.
Yeah, like stay in there, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Do you just like, that's what you see? Is there anything else you want from that? Do you go and talk to them then? Do you talk to them later, or are you just kind of keeping a distance and observing?
I think I'm keeping my distance.
Okay.
Does this happen like multiple times, or do they leave after that?
I think it happens twice during the day with two different people.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think if I see her getting ready to leave, that's when I'll like come up and talk to them.
Okay. You know, there's that bit where they're in the driver's seat, you know, kind of picking out what CD to put in the CD player, and you kind of pop up.
Yeah, that's when I like
window.
show up at the window, like, hey, how are you doing? Funny running into you here.
Yeah, yeah. What are you up to? You need a ride?
Yeah, actually, I was just kind of wandering around, and I didn't realize how far I'd come, and it's a long way back.
Sure, sure. You going back home, or are you going to one of the courthouses or somewhere else?
Uh I'm just headed home.
Okay, sure. I can drop you.
If it's not out of your way, that's
nah, it's all good.
cool. Yeah.
they'll say, okay, well, they'll point to the one of those big fat overstuffed cases with the CDs in it, that where they've got them stuck in each of the little plastic things, but they've also stuck a bunch of loose ones in there, so you have to unzip it and kind of try to keep the discs in your hand. And they'll say, passenger picks music.
Yeah, let's see when did I say I disappeared? 79. What was it? I know. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Okay, absolutely.
That is what all they'll listen to as a kid.
Absolutely. You hit the disc, pull out the Counting Crows, put that in. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah. And they're very, very casual.
One reason I picked that CD is because it's relatively low volume, because I am listening to anything moving around in the back of this truck.
Sure, I think you will, like, you hear some scritching from time to time.
Yeah. Like if it gets loud enough to be, that I can't pretend not to be hearing it. I'm sort of waiting for that so I can ask.
Yeah, let's say
Like,
at some point when you
get a dog,
No, not a dog.
Cat, goat.
They pause. They'll say, it's nothing you need to worry about.
If you're transporting
They'll turn to you and they look you dead on and they say, it's not an animal.
Right.
Yeah, left here, right? To get to your place?
Yeah.
Okay. They do that thing where then they reach over and they turn the volume up a little bit.
Yep. Awesome. And I'm immediately thinking of like, okay, what's small enough to fit in that bag that isn't an animal?
That would be moving around.
Right. Yeah. And scratching as opposed to yelling.
Yeah.
So like not well, a human wouldn't fit in that bag anyway, but like
a very, very quiet baby.
Yeah.
And they'll pull up to your place. Here you are.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the ride. I appreciate it. Hey, listen, if you were in trouble for anything, you can talk to me, right?
Let's have you roll inner conflict here. You want to play this
Yeah.
a little careful.
Yes.
Mark XP and roll.
Okay. Let's see. I think fear is probably still the closest.
Absolutely.
7.
7. So you can kind of clearly demonstrate to them there's something up in your reaction. You can mark what you rolled with, or you can mark a point of sinking.
I think what I do is I leave it at that and I mark sinking.
Okay. But they kind of nod, like they don't quite get what you're saying, but they're like, okay, kind of nod, and they'll drive away.
Okay.
Mr. Suit.
Yes.
What are we going to see about you today?
Um, So I actually think I want to talk to Aldo about uh, Curia Vervain,
Okay.
the witch. And I was thinking about it because you brought up the no cell phones things, and how do we even exist in this world?
I know.
I definitely don't think
You have pagers.
Oh yeah, you did. We did talk about that. But I think actually, like the night before or evening, afternoon, whenever you came, where does Aldo live?
It lives in a building with you, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What does Aldo's space look like? We know that they were up there reading from the dictionary. What is Aldo's like? We said this place was like four floors. So what floor is Aldo on, and what does their room space look like?
Um, first floor,
Okay.
like a small room in the sort of back uh section of the building. Um,
By the dumpsters.
Probably pretty close to the dumpsters, and an exit to an area that wouldn't be super visible is definitely like a
Little
plus for him.
fence
So yeah.
line, maybe a railroad track that
Hmm.
goes back through there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, somewhere with a lot of overgrown weeds that's like pretty easy to hide. uh I think Aldo generally avoids anywhere without some cover. um
Mm.
uh
So, Mr. Suit, do you catch Aldo there? Do you catch them in the laundry area? Do you catch them in the rec room as they're coming and
So
going?
it's actually as you come home that day, there is like slipped in between your door and the door jamb is a small like folded envelope with your full name like calligraphied fancy across the front, and there is an official invitation card inside to a lunch the next day.
okay. Wow. Yeah. I immediately know who it is, like before I even look at the envelope. The fact that it is a closed envelope is like, yeah, only one person does that.
And so I was looking through some more weird mobile stuff, and found out that like American Mardi Gras traditions actually started in
Yeah,
Mobile.
yeah. That
So
whole place you were at was one of the Mardi Gras cruise places to start.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so I think going with the like he has to get himself into exclusive clubs, but the exclusive clubs aren't the fanciest things. There is some like club that runs one of the Mardi Gras floats that we're starting to. It's just past New Year's. We're starting to go into full
Mhm.
swing up on like preparations of these things. So he has like a private membership in this little like freaky sort of club that's in the corner of this like larger space where they do a lot of work on the floats. Um, but that's where he's invited you to.
yeah. Let's say it's the Golden Dawn Social Club.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Basically, it's a little like kind of the kind of dinette that none of the tableware matches. It's very much someone has like a little kitchen in the back, and they're just cooking here for the next couple months, and you know
Yeah.
bowls are Tupperware and that kind of thing, and it's pretty much just gumbo and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason they have a liquor license is because like one of the city councilmen is a member of the club and pushed it through.
I was gonna say, because it's a that's that if something is called a social club where I live, that means like that's the only way they can sell liquor is because it's a private club that you have to pay $1 to, for a
Yep,
membership card.
exactly.
They're very discerning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so you sit there, table is doing that little lean thing where you're trying to figure out what's the best way to put your arms on it so it
Right.
gets
Yeah.
settled in right.
He just keeps adjusting to try and find a neutral posture that won't
Yeah.
constantly make the table do this.
Yeah.
Aldo, Aldo,
Hey,
it's good to see you.
it's good to see you too. Look around like, so you wanted to see me?
Yes, please, sit down. I'll like wave at the bartender, who I think looks up at me annoyed.
Yeah. And basically they just go, you hear the slop, a couple of slops, and then they just bring over a bowl of gumbo, a bowl of white rice for each of you, and two bottled beers that they've opened up, and they just kind of put them on the table in front of you. The beer immediately sweats, like it's already wet on the outside from the humidity.
So, and I turn towards the bar. He's trying to walk away. So, no progress on getting more glassware then.
We got some more cups.
Well, you know,
Do you want a cup?
cup doesn't sound like it has the proper shape to fully enhance the flavor of this particular lager.
It's my PBR.
It says that's not lager, that's beer. We did get a wine list, and he gestures over to a chalkboard that says white, pink, red.
Mr. Suit just gives a full body shudder as he turns away from that horror show. At least these beers have labels on them, and you can have some sort of provenance to the whole experience. They cultivate a very specific atmosphere here.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So I thank you for joining me. I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. I know the whole, well, at least I have been preoccupied and a bit upset by the whole everything's going to fall apart, the courts are going to dissolve, and you'll probably all be dragged back down into the undertow kicking and screaming.
Yeah, that's a thing that has definitely been on my mind. I was, I've only been back for like a year, but kind of getting used to it. Starting to, enjoy being not not repeatedly killed.
That does sound like a nice reprieve, yes.
Yes, I haven't been killed in almost a year.
Congratulations. That he'll hold up his beer for a toast. That deserves a toast.
Yeah, I will actually absolutely toast to not dying.
Pink.
So in that whole end, well, I've asked around various of the courts as well. You saw the results of some of that, but it seems to be the general opinion of at least our courts that if you don't talk about it and you don't look at it and you don't remember that it was there, it probably didn't happen, so it won't hurt us. La la la.
Yeah. Except for certain things, like each court has certain things that they pay a ton of attention to, but nothing else. And this seems to fall like outside of, and you would think that
Exactly.
at least mirrors would be doing something.
I also would have thought such things, but the world is a constantly surprising and interesting place. But I think you've hit directly on it. It's not really in the general purview of most of our courts. It's not within their area of interest. And well, I was thinking, who does have a sort of area of interest that would overlap with doom, prophecies, omens, strange and dark magics?
I mean, I can point you to like 3 Baptist churches, but
I was thinking about something maybe that actually worked.
Yeah, I mean they're big on Doom though, so
Now,
in a
Mr.
kind of
Suit,
sideways way, they might. I don't know.
Mr. Suit, you are edging towards one of your entanglements here. It seems like you're heading towards breaching a particular thing and revealing it, right?
Hmm.
Would you please roll inner turmoil? Mark XP and roll inner turmoil.
Oh, how exciting! Well, then I'm very happy about this situation and
Yeah.
couldn't possibly go bad then. Boo, 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 boo. I think I'm trying to do something about this situation that people keep telling me I can't do anything about. So I think maybe power.
Okay.
That is a 6, but I think I have a bond with Marrow.
Okay.
I do have a bond with Marrow, and I would like that to not be a 6, please and thank you.
Okay. So you may choose if you want to kind of continue. You can either turn away and kind of clumsily leave. You can mark power, or you can mark sinking.
I think I'm going to mark power.
Okay.
Ooh, no, I'm going to mark drained. We have
Okay.
that cool thing. Then I'd
Okay.
have to figure out how to get rid of it, so I'm going to do that.
Okay. So you kind of like you focus yourself. How do we know that maybe this is like you're trying to figure out how to broach this topic?
Um, so it's like burning away some of this magical energy that I'm gonna have to like refresh and some of this emotional energy. I think as he's sitting there, I think like most people wouldn't notice because our surroundings are a bit shabby, a bit haphazard in ways. But you know Mr. Suit well enough to expect that like clean, crisp sort of perfection and edges to his look and his presentation. And he is like starting to sweat, and the knot on his tie is a bit crooked, and like his hair, I think the humidity in here is sort of like curled out of place, and he looks like a little less calm and controlled and smooth and perfect. Um, and he will, yeah, I think he'll reach into like the breast pocket of his jacket and pull out and very dramatically lay down face down on the table and slide across to you a photograph. Which do you turn it over?
Yeah, yeah.
Is a like you can see the frame of a car window. It's in black and white for some reason. It is very much like private eye surveillance stock footage. But it is you and Curia Vervain meeting like the last place that y'all met or something.
Okay.
And he'll say, I know that you have some connections with interesting and unconventional areas.
Uh, Connections plural is a bit much.
Oh, never
But
give
this
that
this
one
is
away
pretty
for
much
free.
the extent of it right here.
Oh, never give that away for free.
Well, you never know. I could be lying.
There you go. See? No, that's good. Nope. Serious face. No laughing. It's a dead-eyed stare. Oh, that's good. That's good. Anyways, the witch might be able to tell us something, or at least be willing to tell us something that no one else will even open their mouths about.
I mean, I told you what she told me. I, what else do you think she might know?
I don't know. That's the point of reaching out to her. As soon as we start looking into Hemingway or the people that are protecting them or more of what's going on around that, it's going to trigger a lot of movement in our courts. But this is an outside channel. This is something we can push on, maybe with a little force, maybe with a little grace. We can try and get something out of it that no one else will see coming. No one else will know that we have.
Okay.
If you'd prefer, you could set up a meeting. Maybe host the two of us. I could try and... But of course, if you feel that you need to handle this privately.
I think she might, I think you might scare her off.
Well, are you willing to meet with her then?
Yeah. I mean, that's,
All right. Are
I'm
you
not sure.
prepared to push for this? Witches do love their secrets.
Where are you going with this? Because I mean, I talk to her not constantly, but often enough. I can ask her questions. Um, I'm not sure. Like, this sounds very ominous from you, and to me, it just sounds like you're asking me to ask her some questions. Except you're not, are you?
Maybe it's the nature of the questions is where the omens come from. Pushing on this sort of thing, it never goes simply, does it? You pull one string, it unravels 5 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, this started with someone slamming open a door and screaming about doom and dissolution. You'll forgive me if some of the ambient drama of the situation has leaked in.
Right. I mean, it is kind of dramatic, but not everything that we do involving it. I think if something we're doing isn't hard, we don't have to make it hard just because it involves something important.
But isn't it beholden on us to make it interesting at least?
I think that will take care of itself.
That feels like a good place for scene.
I like that.
Okay. Let's take our first break here. Let's come back in 10. So I'd like to bring essentially kind of hard frame the 4 of you together at a probably because it's the South. It's a Shoney's big boy there that you can sit and chat and have a conversation at.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we take up kind of a couple of days after that meeting with the hands, Um, and Lydia, let's start with you. What are you saying?
Let's see here. I think I th- think she goes, you know, one of the things is no one has ever mentioned that. And I understand like maybe why the court, the top of the court might not say anything. But I would think that some others of the changelings would have noticed something or said something. I mean, if we disappeared, would they be all silent?
Sad to think.
I know.
Well, I'm gonna bring out my little book of the ones we mourn.
Okay.
Is the one from Lanterns in it? I believe is that underscore or
The one from Lanterns
Is
is
count zero.
count underscore zero. And
That's
their name
it.
is not in that list.
Hmm.
I don't think they think they're
According-
dead. They're just gone. Disappeared.
If they were
Right.
taken by the storm, I would hope they are dead.
Well, thank you for that. But what if they weren't taken by the storm?
Well, I would hope they're alive.
Yeah, exactly. But
Though
by
I
this,
understand your point, Suit. I almost would rather die than go back to what it was like.
Imagine trying to find a way to make yourself survive that a second time.
can we not?
Yeah, it's not too fast. Oh, but it does mean that at least according to my court, they're just they've gone somewhere else. They're missing, or they're considered like just not available.
All right. And
I suppose we could ask somebody that's been around longer than us what they remember of them.
okay.
Um, I hesitate to bring this up, but I could probably find out if they were taken, or at least if one was taken, and then
Would-
we know about maybe the others.
I don't follow Amaro.
I have to ask something at the undertow.
What would the question cost?
If I find the right thing, maybe nothing. If it's difficult, well, I would hope that my protections and my wards would hold.
Stop right there. We're all assuming the worst. And I understand our lives have a certain pattern to them. It does not mean, however, that that is the situation that has occurred. Why don't we try other avenues, not so grim, not so under the surface, okay? Just other things first before we start extending ourselves into places where it may get very expensive for us.
Okay, well,
Okay?
I don't know many in Shackles particularly well, but two of them are from Shackles. One from Mirror, one from Lantern.
Okay. And none from Sun. So I
Nice.
suppose that means I should probably follow up on shackles. And you guys concentrate on the ones from your particular courts. Your folks are the most likely to have met or interacted a little bit more deep with those ones. So for Court of Mirrors, that is count underscore, no, the Lanterns is count underscore 0, and Love Daniels is Mirrors. So, and he's a lackadaisy pledge. That sounds like an amusing human being. Okay. Well, I am sad that we have not met them. I will be looking into Sanguinius. Ooh. A black score beloved. Sounds very interesting. And the Widow Mactin. Interesting. All right. So, we'll start by asking people in those courts. Does that make sense? If you meet people that maybe know something and seem scared to speak about it, at least to you or something, just make a note of that and we can try approaching them in a different way. Or with bribes or something like that. Something that will make them feel safer or whatever it is that seems to be the problem. Understand that if something weird happened, there might be hesitation to speak of it. All right. But don't go ask the undertow. Okay, until it's our last thing. Okay?
All right.
Because I don't want to lose you.
Oh, I mean, it's unlikely that I would go into the undertow. It's more likely I'd let something out.
Okay, that doesn't sound particularly good either.
No.
Okay. And she sort of stops and says, well, is there anything else that we need to be looking into that you have on your agendas? Because I have something that I would like to speak to you about.
No. What?
Remus has asked me to put together a party for their friend Doe.
You're planning a party.
I am.
You're planning a party.
Yes. I like to try new things. Do you want to plan a party
For the
too?
first time, I've
I know you've been to a
done
lot of
a
them.
few.
You have? You've planned them?
Well, yes. So you're doing this yourself,
Yes.
and
I am a woman of many skills, and I am trying to add more.
Well, of course, I don't doubt you. I'm just so where are you in the process of contacting caterers, bartenders? Is the location secured? Do you have furniture and tableware? What sort of menu are you looking at? Do you have
I
a
have
budget
a
going?
$50 gift certificate for party streamers and the like, and decorations, and $190 for fare.
It's a lot of money.
I know. Do you know how much potato salad I can make with that?
No. What? No.
Nameless
What?
is spending $190 and a gift certificate.
I know.
That's very nice of him.
Okay. Back up. What is our theme?
It's a birthday.
Who are our guests?
Happy birthday. It's the friends of Nameless and Doug.
Oh, how quaint.
He stops and says, what would you do?
Well, I'm sure you would know best for decorations for Nameless, so I think that is well and fairly under. If you can handle that part of the budget, 190 is for that's. I mean, that'll go really fast with drinks.
Yes.
Cocktails. This is why cocktails were invented. Booze, very expensive. Fruit juice, very cheap.
We were thinking of going with like wine coolers.
Nope. See, they're achieving the same effect, but they're charging you more for it.
Convince me.
Where are we?
We're in
I
a
mean, we
big
could have
big boy.
punch. I always like punch.
Yes, and we can even spike some of the punch, right?
I mean, that's just a
Champagne
giant cocktail.
punch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like
I-
that.
I
That gives
suppose
us
if you
more
wanted
money
to
for delicious food.
approach it from an industrialized
If I
viewpoint,
had
I
a
suppose
oven, I would learn how to make a cake too.
people really appreciate parties where the things have been approached by how much mass you can make out of them. That's what people are really looking for.
My dad used to make rum punch.
What was in it? What did the other than rum?
Fruit juice, kind of like Soup said.
Like, okay, so like what kind? Was it like pineapple or orange or like a berry kind?
I know that it had a lot of lemon, and that it had orange, and that it had something that made it red.
Mm.
I feel
There
like
are
this
so
conversation
many
is
red
spinning away
juices.
from me.
You can just go and buy like one of each of those frozen juice cans
That's
and just put them all in a bowl and then pour a bunch of alcohol into it. Whatever you got. You mix it up, it ends up good. It always ends up good.
Look, give me $20. I'll make you a wonderful drink or two, and I'll make you a medium-sized bucket of fruit juice and nonsense, and we can see which one is better.
So you want to make it like a tasting contest or a tasting party? Is that what you're
Well,
thinking
since
would
you
be a
all seem very convinced about this whole large bowl bathtub gin sort of idea.
I don't like gin. Do you like gin? Gin
Well,
tastes like pine. I think
I
rum sounds
don't
much
want it to be in the bathroom.
Spinning wildly away.
it kind of gets, I don't have money to give to for alternatives. We kind of have to come up with a plan.
I don't have to go, do I?
So I came to you with a plan. I came to you with an aesthetic sense and a confidence, and now I'm having to both audition and pay for my own materials?
Well, I mean, we would be happy to try them and see if we think that they're better than our juice and rum.
I will show you the superiority of a well-planned party. Just you wait. Just all of you wait! Storm out. I'm going to get supplies. They're going to see what a cocktail is.
All right, I'm gonna eat his French fries.
So I think kind of got said that people want to look into some things. So let's kind of do a once around here. We'll assume that the party planning is going on various ways. Lydia, who do you want to talk to? How do you want to approach this? What do you want to do here?
Think that I do want to go and see Lean and Hungry Mike.
Okay.
I want to talk about like different places that we're going. Like, does it make sense to go to a restaurant, or should we get like one of those places on the beach? Since it's off season, they're kind of cheap to rent for a weeknight, and then maybe we could all bring food in. So we talk about like how can we get the most deliciousness for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can chat with them. They'll help you out with that. They will talk about the fact that sometimes some things fall off the Schwann's truck. And then we put him in with the other stuff. So we can, we can have some treats.
Really?
Yeah, pre-prepared things, icebox cakes and things.
Ooh, that might be fun.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. They'll say, like, how do I best put this? The theme will be mismatched.
Yes.
Like it will be a lot of different things depending on what we can kind of go and lift up. But we can supplement your like food stuffs then, as long as no one is picky and critiques the fact that it has, like a variety to it.
Ooh, no, I have an idea. What if we lean into that? I
Yeah.
know that there will be someone who's picky. And so everything will be a, which do you like best? Cast your vote. And there'll be a picky snobby thing, and there'll be a delicious not snobby thing. And then we'll read all the votes at the end. How is that? Is
That-
the party of what do you say? Of good taste.
And
Party
certainly,
in good taste.
yeah, and if you want to spend that string that you have on
Okay.
Mike, they can make those arrangements essentially to effectively double your food budget.
That sounds great. All right.
Was there
Yes.
something you wanted to look into?
Actually, yes, and I still wanted to talk to Lean and Hungry Mike because no one has spoken to us about these people, and I do say so. I found out that there were some people who were part of the courts that have just like gone missing, and no one said anything about it.
Let's have you make a study roll.
Okay,
What do you want to roll that with?
I want to roll that with what's my most social type of skill? Emotion. Let's see here. In this instance, I'm sorry, it takes me a minute. I don't think that, I think it's probably Joy. That's just like where she
Sure.
is. She's in a sort of, it's parties and it's talking to people and she likes people. And so here we go. We'll roll again. 2d6, I'm adding 2 to it. So again, it's an 8. It's
Okay.
right in that middle part there.
So you've got one hold. So I do think you get the sense that when you kind of talk around the topic that Mike knows who you're talking about.
Okay.
What is your question or what is your declaration?
I think my question is, I'm so new to this place and I never met them. Where would you start if you had to look for them? And not the most depressing place, the most hopeful one.
I don't know much about them. I wasn't here for very long before they went missing. And, this is before you got here, but after they left was a few months later that we had some of the, some people call them baby takers, the wannabes that come through the Shanghai. They didn't come after us, but they hit other people in the area. The our protections held, but they grabbed people around here, and that had people freaked out for a while. And everybody was still cleaning up after the hurricane, so everything got kind of lost. He was, and this is 0, he was with the court, but at very marginal. He was the one time I saw him, and this is a few months before he and his crew vanished. Like I was kind of surprised. Like I wasn't kind of even aware of him, and then he got called on the table. And I kind of heard that he and his crew were at the margins, like they had their own thing going and they kind of kept to themselves, even though some of them were at the courts. And the vibe I got was very hanky. Zero had then this is what I remember about it is he got called in because he was impersonating people. He was calling people on the phone, and he was getting on to these BBS things and onto chat rooms and things and AOL and stuff. And he was pretending to be other people, and he was very good at it. Apparently, that was one of his gifts. I heard that he was like a freaker. Like he could take
Oh,
shit apart and put it back together, and he could mess with phones and stuff. He
yeah.
could get pay phones to spit out coins.
Mm-hmm.
But what I heard was he would get on these online spaces on the information superhighway and would pretend to be people and arrange meetups. And then apparently he would I don't know exactly, but I heard he would then blackmail people.
Oh. Hmm.
And apparently he did this enough that he got like nowadays, I mean, they've told us not to get onto the internets and not to get the emails because we don't know where they're coming from. We can't tell and stuff. But just like the courts hadn't quite decided how they were going to manage this stuff, and I think Zero's pretending to be other people and luring people in kind of freak people out, like that might be a vector for the takers at some point.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I remember about him. Um, uh, you know, uh, 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 the hand might have more specifically about the documentation on that and what happened with our court. Um, I know they had their own den, like they had their own place that they lived at.
Did you know where it was?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Does that feel pretty good for one hold?
Yeah, it does. And one thing is that when we're doing the party planning and stuff,
Mhm.
I do a thing where I'm like, okay, I'm thinking of these things, and I have a camera, one of those Polaroid ones, right?
Oh, with
So
the little pop out photo thing?
yeah,
Okay.
thing, yeah. But I'm like doing pictures of like what I'm planning and like what the place looks like and those things. But I try to get pictures of Lean and Hungry Mike
Okay.
because I want to make sure that I remember Lean and Hungry Mike. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
So that is my thing. I am going to get some pics.
When you take the Polaroid of them and the picture comes out, when it comes out of the camera, their image is right there. And as the photo develops, the picture of them fades.
Interesting. All right. On the last one that I get the picture, I draw an outline on it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Oh, absolutely. I like that. Marrow. You have this chat with the group and such, and you've heard that your friend Lydia is going to be putting on a party, helping out Nameless with a party for. Does that rise to the level of inner turmoil for you?
You know, it might. Being asked for suggestions
Yeah.
on the party, yeah.
Yeah. Let's have
So
you roll that. You get to mark XP.
definitely going to be rolling with sorrow on that. I got a 9.
Got a 9. So we've kind of already passed the opportunity to flee the scene. So do you want to mark sinking, or do you
Yeah, I'll
want?
mark sinking.
Okay.
That seems to make
Right.
sense.
It is kind of painful.
Yes, it kind of was.
So what is it that you want to do? Who do you want to talk to? What do you want to look
I'm gonna go
into?
see Max.
Okay. You
Oh.
will, yeah. You go.
What, Patrick? Were you going to see Max?
No, I just generally disapprove of his existence.
Yes.
Oh, tisk. Max is sweet.
So Max has his has a little apartment. It's a walk up there. It is above a strip club, essentially a Peaches show bar.
Gotcha.
And it's very clear that the upper floors are used for brothel type enterprises as well.
Private parties.
Yes, private parties. You know that Max took it purely so it could say that he lives in a cat house.
Oh, that makes sense. I have managed to score a loose J so that we have something to smoke when I arrive.
Oh, then you come in.
Hey, Max.
All of Max's furniture, like he's done the best kind of keeping it nice, but it all has that look of, ooh, like after the university got out, these are things that were left outside the frat houses and stuff and grabbed up and brought in and things. Um, uh, uh, you know that part of what he does as a job on the side is he works with seasonal cleaning crews. Um, so
Oh, interesting.
yeah, these are the people that go in from May and June, and they just clean up college rental houses and apartments and all of that kind of thing. And like they get half of what's left behind effectively.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, since I brought the weed and I imagine we passing it back and forth, and at this point we're just kind of sprawling on whatever couch he's got there. I'm leaned up on him, but since I brought it, I get to bitch first.
Absolutely.
And so I'm, talking about this. Can you believe it? She asked me for suggestions about the party. I have an idea for a theme. 1 year closer to death.
And he says, and remind me, which of your compatriots was it that put you in this awkward position?
It was Lydia.
Lydia.
I know what you. It seems unusual that
Not to be
she would not
catty,
have.
But
I know.
maybe if you listen to me, you wouldn't be in this position.
I should listen to you more, and I kind of rub into his shoulder.
Absolutely, absolutely listen to me more.
Oh, also, I've been asked to do something by the like higher ups too.
Like better than your regular day stuff. I mean,
Mm,
like I know you dig it, but man, I do not know how you handled the graveyard duty.
It's there's a comfort in it. It's very peaceful, but still, hey, do you? I before I was here,
Mm-hmm.
there was this crew, and I'll give you the names. Do you remember anything about them? They apparently just like disappeared.
Let's have you make a study roll. We'll see what he knows.
Alrighty. I think I'm still sitting in sorrow.
Okay, that seems fair.
That's an 8.
That is an 8. So he'll say, yeah, I don't think any of them were in my court. I don't think any of them were in Sons.
No, I don't think so.
I know the name, like I know of them. But kind of after the fact, like when they were gone, like losing 4 of us in the hurricane. There were some people that said that they had gone to another city, but you know how dangerous it is to travel. You
That's what I've
know,
been told.
yeah, the spaces in between. There are some ways to do it, like there are the caravans. I don't think you've been here when the traveling folk have come. There
Uh-uh.
are caravans that come through. They come along, like they do a little community hopping. Winnebago's airstreams they've got. They're they're like carny folk, but different. But they move all along the Gulf Coast Panhandle stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of them back here by Mardi Gras. But they travel between. But my impression was this crew uh like were a little bit different. The one thing I did hear, and I'm not sure how true it was that they had a like a junkyard that was where they like had their clubhouse, for about one of a better word. Um, but that's what I heard, but I don't know much more than that.
I don't know where it was.
No, like someone at one of the court, like one of the people has to have some kind of record, I would assume. But
Okay.
yeah, no, I just heard it was a junkyard. There's
Well,
something
that's a
else about it.
start.
I can't remember. Like how do I put this? Whenever people talked about them afterwards, I always got the sense that people were a little unnerved by them.
Like when they were around, they had been unnerved about them.
Yeah. But nobody, like when people go missing, nobody wants to talk bad. No one
I
wants to.
guess if you don't like somebody, you really don't care if they go missing.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it just had a weird feeling to it. But in Sons, none of them were with us, so people could afford to ignore it.
One of them was in lanterns. I could go ask Bayman at least about this junkyard. He might know something.
Maybe that's an idea.
They disappeared at the storm.
Yeah, it was Danny.
What was the storm like?
It didn't make landfall, but we caught a hell of the edge from it. Um, I know. I mean, we got like 4 or 5 feet of rain. Like things washed out. I know. Dauphin Island down south got cut off for a while. There was a lot of wash throughs in the bay. It made landfall elsewhere. So like our stuff seemed secondary to where it actually hit hard. But like it was a mess for a while. You haven't been here when we gotten really hit yet, but
I know you hate getting wet.
I know. Well, and even the edge of a hurricane is just it's all water, and like you think, oh, I've got these windows, they're sealed, we'll be fine. No, it gets in fucking everywhere. And then the problem is, he pauses, he says, the city gets a rot after things like that. Because there's so much water, like real water, but shit blows in from the undertow too. A hurricane isn't just in the real world.
Oh. Okay. I'll have to remember that. I guess eventually I'll be here for one.
It'll happen.
And I'll kind of lay back up against it. Well, we'll settle it and write it out.
Absolutely. You're always welcome to come on over when that happens. Though you live in a brick house, so like you might actually be in better shape than me.
You could come hang with me.
And your crew. Hard no.
I'll roll my eyes and lay back.
Okay. Aldo. You have 8 XP now. You're gonna get an advance.
Yeah. But first, there are several people I need to talk to.
Okay. Who do you want to start with?
Let's see here. Yeah, let's just talk to Curia Vervain.
Okay. So we'll assume you have a standing invitation, for coffee like once a week, but you also, you've exchanged pager numbers, so you can, you know, text, text
Right.
them, like the early days of the wire, when you want to get a hold of them. So do you think this is a scheduled day, or did you like contact them to meet up?
I think it's scheduled.
Okay. Yeah, so you will meet up with them. They'll chat with you about stuff. They kind of ask obliquely if you heard anything about, you said you're maybe going to ask about the weird prophecy thing, if you heard anything more about that.
Not much. This Hemingway person, nobody seems to want to admit to knowing anything about them. Even if, I have no idea if it's connected. Probably not. But on top of all that, we're supposed to find out what happened to people who disappeared. How long ago was it? Out of character?
So about 18 months ago.
Uh, it's 4 people, disappeared during Hurricane Danny, and I don't know why they're just now getting around to wanting people to find out what happened to them and why they chose us. But like the timing makes me think that might be connected in some way.
She pauses and she says, "Oh, you don't mean people. You mean your kind of folk."
Yeah,
That does seem odd.
yeah, yeah. It is. I kind of hope it's connected because if not, then there's even more things going on. Uh, I have no idea what. I mean, they could all be dead. They could have all been taken again. They could have all just left, be in hiding somewhere.
That's not a great
Honestly,
thought.
if they want us to look for them, maybe it's that last one. Maybe, I mean, they must assume that they're still alive, right? Otherwise, why bother? If we find out they're dead, that doesn't change anything.
My, I don't know. My folk, we keep pretty close tabs on our our kith and kin. But there's different kind of bonding that we have than you do.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of us, but that's not why. Uh, just they're all so extremely different.
So I have the sense that you're fishing around here.
Yeah, out of character, I do not remember what I'm fishing around for. That's why I'm left.
Are you gonna
Uh,
basically we gonna ask him about the names or things like that? Because you haven't. I mean,
uh, yeah, I might. Yeah, might as well. I think there was something else I had planned to ask,
okay.
but I don't remember what it was. So, like, yeah, let's just. Yes.
Kind of.
So I'm like, have you ever heard of any of these people?
Let's have you make a study roll.
Cool. I'll do that. Uh, let's see. What is this? I think it's calm. Uh, let's go with sorrow. Talking about a bunch of people who disappeared. That's pretty sad.
Sure. It's a
10.
10. You've got 2 hold. So why don't I give you a response and then I give you another hold to ask a follow-up or
Okay.
ask a different question or make a declaration. Um, you're saying the names and you say the widow Macton, and you see her kind of stop and put her coffee down and open up a couple of packets of sugar and pour those in the coffee, kind of, and stirs that. And she'll say, "You're weird. Like, uh, uh, but I like you because I can tell that you're connected to nature. I can tell that you're connected to the earth in a way that others aren't, you know, that maybe you kind of understand where we come from, and I think maybe I understand a little bit of where you come from. Skinwalking, being other out under the moonlight, those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's that thing where it kind of taps off her stirrer. But I can still feel the pull, the hunger that is the magic that you know, the magic that you got from them.
Yeah. Does yours
And
not have that?
we made our magic. We go through our ceremonies, we do our things. Ours is a very different thing.
Must be
Yours
nice.
yours comes from a tainted source. And it's dangerous, and it eats other magics. I don't know the full story on it, but I know that the Widow Macton had a run-in with a couple of members of our coven, and they did not come out on the better end of it. And she stole some shit from us.
When was this? Like, was this close to the time she disappeared?
This would have been early in 97. So yeah, if you're saying Hurricane Danny was when they vanished, yeah, it would have been a few months before that.
Okay. Huh. Well, that's good to know. Thanks. I have no idea if it's relevant or not, but it's a lot more information than I had before.
You have one more hold. You can ask another question or make a declaration.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Suit.
uh,
Quickly screen share while you're thinking here.
okay. This is both an observation that I'm going to make, like, put into the story here.
Okay.
They look a lot alike. Her and Widow Macton.
Yeah, I think that makes a certain amount of sense.
Like, there is a family resemblance there.
Yeah. She will say, I don't know precisely how she wormed her way in. Not entirely sure whether she's lying or not, but it was unusual.
Wormed her way into
The coven.
the coven. I mean, I think she'd been around for a while. She probably knew some people, but yeah.
Yeah, but a smart witch doesn't let a taken get too close.
Yeah. Can see why.
Nice. Let's cut to Mr. Suit.
which is a mess. Um, so one of the aspects of mirrors
Mm-hmm.
is historians.
Yeah.
So who amongst mirrors would be known as the person that like keeps up with the history of the court itself?
Oh, let's say that it's Wisdom Wales is the officer of the accounts, the officer of the chronicle.
Okay. Then I will go see them. I really don't want to go see them. I really don't want to go look into this, but I'll go see them. We're gonna look into this.
Okay. Uh, so we saw you visit and call and talk to Delulu before.
Yeah, that went great.
I think that Wisdom Wales actually works at a like a local 2-year college, like a real local regional 2-year college in the area that the reputation of this place is that yeah, if you're rich and you fucked up in school or like DUIs or whatnot, your parents can get you in here for 2 years, and then they can use that as a stepping stone to get you into a real college. Um, it's a real old campus that when you go there doesn't really actually feel like a college in some ways. But they work in what passes for the library there, um, which is kind of a mess of donated collections and things like that. Um, uh, and you know that at least a portion of the like library and book and collections for the court are kind of kept here in private archives under Wisdom's kind of watch. Um, Wisdom herself, in you can see what she looks like, kind of that weird sort of porcelain carved figure. Uh, Her sort of persona to those who see her in the mortal world looks like a person who is undergoing chemo and is wearing a bad wig, sort of perpetually. But uh, uh, let's. I think I've been saying she, so let's go with that. So she will greet you when you arrive there.
Oh,
Mr.
Miss Wales, it's so nice to see you.
It is an absolute pleasure. I don't think you've swung by to chat with me before. Please come and sit. I'm
It has been a while.
just putting in the new cards. She has one of those shelves. She's got that in. She's putting the new little card in the thing. We're still using Dewey Decimal. They keep trying to get me to go over to Library of Congress, but too modern.
Besides, what would a library be without this comforting, giant, warm cabinet?
Exactly. You see that over there? That's supposed to be hooked up to the internets. It has a little touch screen thing, and yeah, I broke that day one that they put that in.
Yes, the whole internet setup, it's been explained to me. It just sounds very rude.
It is, as I understand it, it's a series of tubes of some kind.
Oh, that's so. I don't like that. As I'm up close to her and talking about this the first time I'm meeting her, can I roll observant to see if there's anything that strikes me as oddly familiar about her?
Absolutely. They are politically important.
Um, I think this is fear. He really doesn't want to be here talking about this.
Okay. That
It's an
is
11.
an 11. So you're going to get a string on them. I mean, you already know that they and Morrow do not get along. That Wales has lashed out at Morrow. And I think that you will know that this is because they are very susceptible to a certain kind of person. And you see the picture of Relentless Third?
Hmm.
Okay. So that's what Relentless Third looks like in their changeling form. In their sort of human guise, they are a big old twink, cute and dumb and kind of good looking. And you know that apparently at some point, Relentless Third has kind of let slip that they are very interested in Marrow and want to, track Marrow down, which of course is because you were disguised as Marrow and complicated that situation and caused that. Does that feel like a reasonable piece of complication there for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the sense that you have is that Wisdom has probably done some stuff for Third that might get her in trouble with the court if it were to come out.
Hmm.
So what can I help you with? Is there something you want to research, look into, historical that I can assist you with? I assume that's why you've come to my lair.
Yes, there is. I'm here to ask about. Well, you see, there was. I don't. I think this is like moving towards an inner conflict.
Okay.
Um, if
Yeah, that seems
if
fair.
he asks about these four, we're gonna start talking about hurricanes, and then we're gonna start talking about magic and hurricanes and bad things, and I don't want to talk about any of that.
Sure. Let's have you roll. What do you want to roll that with?
Calm. Let's see if I have any.
Okay.
That's a 3.
So mark calm And I think it is that, like, you kind of talked about, and the second that you kind of like slip, you like, of course, Hurricane Danny, and she said, "Oh, Hurricane Danny," and then she proceeds to, with vibrant details, describe the storm, the bruised color of the sky before it came in, the chop on the water, the ships lost at sea, like she clearly enjoys this. There's a certain edge that you get that have the sense that there's a certain amount of disaster porn that like she's kind of into this and talking about this stuff, and you find it very hard to stop her.
Yeah, I think I keep trying to redirect her, but
Yeah.
every question just leads her deeper in.
Yeah. Why don't you also mark 2 levels of sinking?
Oh, um,
And eventually
yeah,
she does stop and she goes, "Oh,
I
but
think
I'm off topic a little."
and I think as she was going through and like expounding on it, like we see again, Suit is like sweating and he's starting to look disheveled, and it's like his tie between one shot of the camera and the next is just completely undone. And somehow like then his
Cut.
jacket is taken off and his hair is completely messed up. Like he looks like the other end of a bachelor party that went on for like 3 days by the end of this conversation.
So what was
I,
it you wanted to know?
I just, I don't, I didn't, I, I can't, why, you're just,
Did you want
I have
to
somewhere very
know?
important to be.
All right. And they reach out their hand and say, "But you came here for a question. Was there something you wanted to ask me?"
I do not want to know. I do not want to know anything that you know. I don't want to.
All right. I'm sorry. I seem to have upset you, did I? Ah, I understand.
I, am,
I apologize. She says, "We avoid talking about things, but that often means that we don't know when something is not to be talked about."
it is fine. It is nothing is wrong. It's not you. It's
I,
I'm sorry to
I,
have wasted your time.
no, no, she says, I understand. Uh, if you do want to talk again about anything else, you're welcome to come and see me.
Thank you so much. Please, if you ever, if I can in any way, and he just like sort of throws a card on the table and gets out of there, not running, but just barely not running,
Oh,
but like a
lit.
calling card.
No, oh, linen finish. Oh, race type. And we will get out of there, out into the cool afternoon January air, and kind of catch your breath there.
Yeah, and I think there's just this like where he when he went in it was bright and cloudless, and there are some dark ominous clouds on the horizon, and there's a wind that kicks up as soon as he walks outside.
Perfect. Perfect. I think I want to stop here, if that's okay. A little early, but I think we'll kind of come back on the note that we're going to kind of continue the once arounds with investigations. We've got some things on the table, and we'll follow up on that, if that seems cool with folks. And get some of those things on the table. Let's talk XP. I think most people are going to be getting enough to get that advance. If you haven't already hit that for inner conflicts. And misses, also you mark XP on a miss, Patrick, so you double dipped there.
That's cool.
Yeah. Lydia, did you express your taken self?
Let's see here. I think so. I think I'm trying to be all the things, like whatever is put in front of me, I'm going to be the best at. I'm going to be working on being a detective too. So it's going to be a full, So I think so.
Okay. So there's a point for that. Did you express your human side, your humanity?
I want to remember Lean and Hungry Mike.
Yeah. That felt very human. And I think that, let's look at your things. Yeah, we definitely had you interact with your entanglements there.
Yes. So that's 4 altogether?
3 points from that.
3 points.
Yep.
Okay.
Tyler, kind of going reverse. We definitely hit your entanglements. Did you express your changeling self?
I think so, in bringing up my ability to talk to things of the undertow.
Yeah.
I think that was.
So an XP for that. And did you express your humanity?
I think my relationship with Vax is very human as compared to us being Fae.
Yeah. No.
And you being upset with me planning that party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So 3 points. Aldo, did you express your changeling self, your taken self, your other self?
Did I? I don't think so.
Okay. Did you express your humanity?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I think we definitely got the picture of that in most of those interactions that you had with people. Felt very much that way. Actually, you know what? Oh yeah, no, I think that feels right. And we did interact with this old Songbird Rex entanglement there. So we'll give you a point for that. So 2 points.
Cool.
And Mr. Suit, did you express your changeling taken self there?
Yeah, I think taken self is very much the operative word there.
Yeah. And then certainly the flip side of that with everything, I think we've got that and your humanity showing.
I think that again, that like hearing that Lydia is planning a party and didn't immediately call me was just so hurtful and offensive to him.
Absolutely. So that's 2 points, and we did and definitely that whole Aldo for Curia thing was another point. So a total of 3 points there.
Nice.
As well as the romantic entanglement thing, which we managed to make more complicated.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Lydia, stars, wishes?
There was a lot of good stuff here. I think I really am enjoying being the bright optimist among the 3 most pessimistic of all yokai, young yokai. It is very funny. It's like they all heard doom, she heard change. You know, they all are like they're dead. She's like, they might be somewhere. It's just like her whole take on all of this is, and she just wants them to not be so grim, you know. It's got this lovely chance. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. It's a good and fruitful space to be playing. I love this town in a lot of ways. It feels super grounded. And yet still, like, because of the water, kind of like always in peril. if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Anything wishes wise?
Well, I'm looking forward to going to visit another court, if
Okay.
that makes any sense. And so my wishes are kind of like, because we don't have any, like space or place with the shackles, that I kind of get, a kind of flavor of what they're like when I'm there.
Okay.
So
Marrow.
This was good in a lot of ways. I thought it was a good session. Patrick, tour de force on a bunch of the emotions of Suit. I thought that was both both there as a group, and the discussion with Aldo, and this discussion here at the end. All of these seeing different pieces and parts of the difficulties of Suit. Very, very good. Aldo, I love the relationship with the witch, and I love hearing y'all converse. I think that is a ton of fun. It's interesting. I liked your meeting with Suit as well. I thought that was I always love seeing us interact with each other, but I thought that was a really interesting piece to seeing friends talk and knowing each other in some ways. I loved the okay, I know you're asking for something. Just kind of tell me what you're asking for. I thought that was really good. And Sherry, your character is just makes me howl. She is so funny. She is so upbeat and so kind of flighty. I love that. Okay, we're all there at a meeting, and she's like, "Okay, let's not dwell on terrible things. Here, I've got a plan." And then immediately she goes to the one where she'd already sent two people to go to. I was right. It's like, you two go there. Well, I'm gonna go there. I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. That is perfect. And this party, the whole thing of the party is funny, and the kind of upbeat look at it, and kind of overlooking how would Barrow think of that was great as well. Um, I love this character. She is just so much fun. Wishes. I almost this is on a meta end of things. I almost wonder if this game could use like a flashback, either I don't know if mechanical or kind of an implied concept, where we kind of have moments where we look back and learn of pre-taken characters.
Oh, interesting.
Because we're seeing a lot of Suit's trauma, but we're not quite I don't quite know what Suit was like before. Now I know that we've got some playbooks who don't have much memory to that, but
But there's also
the idea of seeing that.
flashing to your
when you
time
were,
your time in
Our
the
time's in, yeah.
in the homelands. You know, one of the things you'd asked about last time was, how do we get bonds?
Mhm.
So maybe
Hmm.
that's one of the ways that you know, if you want to do a scene and do a flashback to generate a bond, in that something about one of the other PCs reminds you of something from
Mm.
your time or something from
Oh.
your past. I'll write that up as a move,
Yeah.
and let's have that as an option.
I
That's
think that would be cool.
yeah, okay. No,
I
that's a
like
really
that.
great idea.
Um,
Yeah.
and wishes for what we're doing. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the party. I'm looking forward to the horrible, exquisite pain of the party. Whether I'll go, that sort of thing. And I'm also, the more we discover about this group that we're supposed to find, the worse they seem. So I'm kind of looking forward and kind of, this, you know, it's a wish I think is going to happen regardless. But I'm looking forward to learning what they were. They seem like they could have easily had lots of enemies. They would be happy to see them gone.
Excellent.
Or they could just be misunderstood.
Thank you, Lydia. Aldo.
So stars to Mr. Suit for being so incredibly extra, and also like Patrick, your characters always give me ways to figure out, like interacting with your characters makes me figure out what my characters are about.
No.
So, so
I love
don't.
that.
I assume you're not doing that on purpose, but it's an ongoing thing. Because like, yeah, Mr. Suit being so extra kind of, I was like, oh, okay, yes, these characters know each other, but they don't quite understand each other. It gave me a chance to, mistake Mr. Suit's dramatic flair for like, just being more dire than it was. Which and I like Marrow's ongoing, like I like both Marrow's ongoing emo kid thing, but also the whole relationship between Marrow and Max. It's like Max just like has people that he obviously can't stand, and yet he's made this extreme exception for Marrow. Like I love that these two characters who seem like they would annoy each other are best friends. It's great. And yeah, the whole Lily getting to play at a party and Mr. Suit being jealous, like, that's my thing. I'm the party planner. How could you not consult me? I love that scene, even like, and I'm not sure if I loved it in spite of or because it had like nothing to do with any of the ongoing, plots. It's like, this is just two friends arguing over a party. It's awesome.
It's not really a party until someone's gotten into a fight over.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what made it feel so like grounded. Like, yes, this is a conversation that two human beings in the real world would have.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it's also completely in character for these two, like, wishes. Tyler actually hit on a more concrete version of what I wanted. So I second that.
Yeah, we'll add that in. That's a great thing, because we can support the bond system and we can get a chance for more character illustration and so on. Mr. Suit.
Yeah, this was neat. I love getting to explore our courts and sort of just the setup of our yokai world here through going out and we have a lot of NPCs, but we have like a set of NPCs, so it's not like we're going out and infinitely finding more of them. But as different characters start interacting with the same NPC, like we see a different side of them each time a different person interacts with them in a really interesting way. So I'm loving seeing like that part of the world get fleshed out as we sort of like cross paths and go hit new people for us, but ones that we've already seen on screen before. It's very cool. Sherry, Lily, Lydia, whoever. I mean, it's just, it's so great. It's like every session we come in and someone has hit like a random sitcom hook generator for you. It's like, here's the new one. I love that you're involved in planning someone's birthday party, and that became a major like interest point and argument point at different parts of the session. And similar to Tyler's moment where he was talking about like we had that meeting and Lily was very like, this is what we need to do and these are our, you know, the things we've been assigned and we really need to track down this and this and this, and she leaves the meeting and immediately is like, oh man, I really need to plan that party.
Yep.
Just the instant you're out the door, all of it was gone, and it was back to like taffeta and streamers.
Much happier. You guys were making me really depressed.
Tyler, I continue to love seeing the like unexpectedly dark moments from Marrow. The like, no, it'll be fine. It probably won't be anything bad. The worst that could happen is a monstrosity could escape from the deeps and go rampaging around. It's nothing much. And then like, you know, juxtaposing that with the you know, I hate Max with every fiber of my being, but the two of you together are adorable. Marrow and Max together are just so cute. And Ethan, I also really enjoyed having that conversation with Aldo. I thought that, like in particular, your line that was something like, "Okay, it sounds like you're just asking me to go have a conversation with my friend, but there's something really ominous about it."
That was a great bit.
And then just seeing you and Kyria interact. It is building up into this very like co-toxic friendship sort of thing. Where like maybe she's not the best person for you to be friends with and vice versa, but you do genuinely seem to be friends. Like you really seem to like each other. And she is just like lacking in all forms of tact. Just yeah,
Yeah, I want to
that was fun.
say for me, the line I could deliver, oh, you're not talking about people. Right? You set me
Talking
up
about
for that. It
you.
was such a great setup there. So
Um wishes, I'll keep it similar to last time. And I think Lily set us up perfectly for it by saying, like, you know, let's go out and explore all of the connections and sort of mundane ways to explore this before we do anything weird. And we did. We explored the mundane and normal connections, so let's do something weird.
okay.
Whether it's going into the shallows or pulling on some weird magics, like, let's try something a bit more reckless.
Absolutely. There is always the invoke contract as a possibility aside from the various playbook moves.
I am also kind of interested in the junkyard hook you laid down.
Okay.
I think that will be very interesting.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording.